we do this.
Yeah, I see it now.
We do it now. What's going on, family? We are officially live. That's right. Come on in. Come on in. We can get the show started here shortly. We're talking about the controversial Keke Palmer situation. And we're going to let that trail us into a discussion on modesty and masculine leadership. Apologize for being late today. We had a lot going on, but we are here better late than never. So hop on in, hit that like button, share it with a friend that you think could enjoy this. And as soon as we get a couple faces in the comments, we're going to get it popping very shortly. I appreciate you for joining.
Let's go. Yeah. Been waiting a minute for this one. Yeah.
Girl, you got my whole world messy like toilet paper. It's not a day in the world that I don't pray for you. That you will get through your pain. Oh, don't let the weight of the world make you feel so precious. Ain't no way that a girl could all alone fight through this quest when filled with too much shame. Whoa, nothing more precious in this world, you're my limelight. In a room full of girls, I keep my eyes on you. In this evil world, I will be your protector. Up on top of the world, there will be no pressure. Place your weight on my shoulders, that's a noble gesture. Share your pain with me so we can grow together. Then bring me to one knee, our souls are more together. Girl, you know you're special. Ha. Whoa, yeah. Whoa, yeah.
Boy, in the darkest of days, I give you all the pleasure. Hoping to spark new ways to give you all your treasure. When demons all around, I will still treasure. Ain't afraid to hold you down if the world judge you. Could move away to any town, there will be no one around who can break the love we found. Oh baby, you in control is healing me, bringing sweeter memories. So complete, your love's profound. Oh baby,
whoa, nothing more precious in this world, you're my limelight. In a room full of girls, I keep my eyes on you. In this evil world, I will be your protector. Up on top of the world, there will be no pressure. Place your weight on my shoulders, that's a noble gesture. Share your pain with me so we can grow together. And bring me to one knee, our souls are more together. Girl, you know you're special. Ha. Whoa, yeah.
Okay. So thoughts.
So, first of all, the outfit. She shouldn't have never stepped out the house in general wearing that. No, she's not a wife, but she's still a mom and she still has a man. So the attire is horrible from jump. Then Usher is serenading her and she is fangirling. Like the waving, that means you're making me hot. That all of that was sexual energy between each other live on stage in front of millions.
Yeah.
So it was all wrong. It was
Yeah.
all wrong.
Yeah, I feel like he sold himself short saying it's the outfit for me. You know, that was very kind of him. So there's a lot more than the outfit for me.
Yes.
Like you said, it is the entire interaction between one another. But I mean, if we're gonna talk about the outfit, her whole ass is clearly visible. Nothing about that clip was okay.
Nothing.
Nothing. So her boyfriend, baby daddy, whatever you want to call him, proceeded to have some choice words about it. Understandably so, in my opinion, that were clearly just blown up. And for him to say it's the outfit, though, cool. They begin. Go ahead.
And I think he only said that it's the outfit though, because he's afraid. He knows that if he says any more than that, he's insecure and all of the things.
Yeah. So he went on to say, we live in a generation where a man of the family doesn't want the wife and mother to his kids to showcase booty cheeks to please others and gets told how much of a hater he is. This is my family and my representation. I have standards and morals to what I believe. Amazing point. I can fully agree, but she's not your wife, bro.
That seems to be everybody's main point.
That's everybody's main point. I'm not saying that he shouldn't have standards. I don't want you to be my wife if I can't have standards. So we don't even get to that point if this stuff is taking place. But with that said, let's be accurate in your communication. Why is it that we don't want to give full commitment, especially in the Black community? We want to call it just a piece of paper, but when it's convenient to throw around, that's my wife.
Oh, I didn't even realize it.
He literally said, I want the wife and mother to his kids to showcase booty cheeks. Now, if we're going to go there, though, let's just be a little controversial. It was perfectly fine when he posted this.
Y'all see this work?
Yeah.
Y'all see this?
So what it came down to, well, was this before or after she became a mom? Maybe
Great
he's
point.
looking at things differently now.
Great point. Their relationship could have evolved to something different.
But, at the end of the day, I think if your relationship is evolving into something different, this should have been a topic of discussion at home.
Yeah.
You should have known what she was wearing when she walked out that house.
Exactly.
Like, these type of things should have been discussed and handled beforehand, because you already know, you already supported this behavior before. So now she's confused. And now she's like, not only is she confused, you looking for clout because you're on Instagram talking about me.
Yeah.
This was probably the first time she ever heard anything about this being an issue.
Right. What's up, Lakia? What's up, Shane Nolan, man? Appreciate you for coming through. So,
hey, y'all.
Lakia says hypocrite. It was after. So apparently she was a mother there.
Okay.
And that's the dilemma I have then.
Wow.
Because a lot of our Black men, and I see my own brothers out here, my guys doing this. They love to showcase their ladies like that, so everybody can see how sexy she is. Post videos of her twerking, showcasing her sexuality, and at that point, it's righteously confusing for a woman when you decide, oh no, that's too far.
Right. It's like, you were cool with my behavior. Now,
when it makes you look good.
Right.
And so, honestly, we got to be careful about trying to toe the line with society. It's either we're modest or we're not. We're a wife or we're not. You know what I mean? But honestly, in my opinion, when I see guys do that, I personally don't believe that you even love her.
Yeah, I
Because men
agree.
are naturally territorial. Why would you want to show off what's yours to the world? I don't even believe they love her. Like, that's something else I kind of thought about getting into is the whole Adam 22 thing. If
So,
you don't know, this is a gentleman who ran a very successful podcast called No Jumper.
mhm.
And he married a well, I don't even know if you can call her a porn star. They did a lot of pornography together, sometimes threesomes with other women. And she recently, they called it a wedding gift,
Mhm.
did a scene with another man for the first time. And it's just really like got a lot of attention because they're like, yo, you a cuck. Like you sitting here putting your wife out here to get banged by another man. And he's bragging about the fact that he's making millions of dollars off of it. But there's the question, some people are like, yo, he's obviously dying inside. For me, it's like,
He's a
is
pimp.
he?
He's a pimp.
That's been my literal thought process.
Yeah,
I just don't believe he even loves her.
yeah,
I think it's a business transaction for him, point blank, period. I don't believe that he's dying inside. I believe he don't care about that woman.
yeah, yeah. That's very true. I definitely, when I see men who display their wives or girlfriends in that manner, I really feel like you don't care about her. You don't care to protect her, and you don't feel like she's really yours.
Yep.
Like this is short term for you.
And this can really go down a bunny trail. And that's why I
Mhm.
always advise men against that open relationship trap or swinging and things like that. Because men will go to swinger parties and have no idea that you're trading your main chick, the love of your life, your future wife or current wife, off of somebody else where you don't even know if she just a chick he brought here.
Mm,
They could just be friends. It could
yeah.
just be somebody he's sleeping with for fun, and you're trading off your main, and you're assuming you're gonna be okay with that. I don't know if y'all familiar with the other influencer by the name of Sneeko, but they were talking about him for that.
Mm,
Going to these swinger parties and watching men sleep with his wife and or his lady at the time. I don't know if I
mhm.
don't think she was his wife, and he didn't even find anything in the room that he found attractive enough for him to want to sleep with.
Wow.
And that's the danger when you open that door. Unless your wife is hideous, you will not outcompete her in an open relationship, brothers. You will play yourself, and you that's gonna kill you. Men, I've read stories of men that's like, yeah, I opened a relationship because I was into the girl at work, da da da, and the girl at work didn't even let me hit. Now my wife out here every other weekend sleeping with a different man. It's always gonna be easier for a chick. An average woman gets sex easier than a celebrity a lot of times. That's a dangerous game to play, and society drags so many into these foolish.
Stupid.
Yeah, brother here says Sneeko went to sex party and messed up his mind. Yes, absolutely, rightfully so. Rightfully so. If it don't mess up your mind, you're a psychopath probably. I mean, he said. I remember he was explaining the first time. He said he watched 3 strokes and had to leave the room because he felt like he was literally getting robbed at gunpoint. You're not gonna tell me that a man can love his wife and sign up for that. Lakia said there's no way a person, especially a man who's truly committed and married, wants anyone near their wives' husbands. Absolutely not. Facts, bro. If she's pretty and an open relationship is over, bro, you're done. You just played yourself. And honestly, I'm gonna go further. Even if she's not pretty, if she's average, because the average woman that's a 4 or better can walk into any bar on any given night and leave with somebody if she's not too picky.
Yeah.
Men got to put in work. The average man can't cheat if he wanted to. And this is the thing that I think a lot of women don't understand. We get behind on the comments a little bit. Kings and Queens said it's not his wife and he's smart. And if he's smart, she never will be. But I fear he's not that smart. Yeah, especially now that the kid's involved.
Yeah. These
Uh,
celebrity relationships are a joke. Honestly, I feel like that's not even it's not even in the same ranking of regular relationships. They live whole different lives.
Yeah,
They live by different rules. And is he a celebrity? Does
I
he
don't
have
think
his
so.
own, like, he's
Yeah,
coming up by dating her?
exactly.
And that's why I feel a little off about how he went to the internet. Like, I feel like that, what was that about?
Clout chasing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lakia said it seemed more of bragging rights because he was happy to be recognized and affiliated with her. And I think she's probably talking about the video of her clapping her cheeks.
Mhm.
And you know that you're right. You're right. I think that is how it happens. A lot of times you come in and it's like, yeah, I'm hitting that, and that's what a lot of black men, you know, especially I see doing.
Hey, Bella
When they
Rings.
showcasing they lady like that. Bella Rings, welcome to the show, ma'am. And they think that that's gonna, you know, gain them some type of respect, but at the end of the day, I immediately, like I said, I feel like you don't love her.
Mhm.
And that's just a play toy to you. And I feel like any woman whose man is letting you do that, that should be an immediate red flag.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't know. Maybe the relationship dynamic changed for this gentleman.
Yeah.
And he realized that it wasn't all it was cracked up to be when he seen Usher serenading her.
That's what I was
Yeah.
also thinking. It became a more he became jealous because, okay, Usher's probably got, well, duh, has more than you. You know, he's above her. So it's some he is somebody for her to look up to while
Right.
you're not.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. She probably leads the relationship, honestly.
yeah.
Sir Hell Speaks in the building. What's up, my brother?
Hello.
Good to see you as well, sir. So then it gets interesting. Obviously, he begins to get dragged, and like cancel culture at its finest, they begin to dig into his past history on Twitter. And they found a tweet from, God dang, how long ago did that have to be? 2016, July 2016, of him saying Alton Sterling could have made the situation easier for everybody if he would have followed orders and got his ass on the ground and not resist. Alton Sterling is someone who was killed by police it was so long ago, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He made this comment back in 2016, and now they are dragging him for it. So now somebody on Twitter said Darius Dalton's tweets about Alton Sterling probably got Keke throwing up in the toilet somewhere. Darius Jackson is controlling, humiliated Keke Palmer on a public platform for all to see because he's insecure with himself. And lastly, his view is Alton Sterling's murder is a red flag. Man, he should have just shut up. Now he deleted his account because they pulling up tweets supporting Trump and talking greasy about Sterling's murder. So this is the thing, man. You got to be careful out here because you go chasing for clout and you might just find it. Mm-hmm. And now he done found it and he ain't really ready to stand 10 toes down. Mm-hmm. You can't be a conservative. You can't be a Trump supporter. You can't question police killings in the Twitter realm, sir. Are you crazy?
Yeah.
Be careful what you ask for.
He ain't ready for that life.
No, and most people aren't. But it says a lot to me. It's pretty sad that he's controlling and insecure for simply not wanting his lady to have her ass showcased on a public platform, serenading a star while he sings "There Goes My Baby."
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty common thing for a man to not like.
Yeah. I mean, it would, that's a shot at any man's ego. And it doesn't even mean insecurity. It's just like, you're supposed to be mine, and you're showing the world that Usher can have you.
Yeah. He's jealous because of Usher serenading her. I don't think it's a dress. I can agree with that. You're probably right.
Yeah, I agree.
Shane Nolan says, and the plot thickens. So this leads me to our next question then. What is the big deal about Usher serenading her, especially in Hollywood? You know, you're showcasing her anyway. Why did that make him so insecure? And should it?
I think it makes him insecure because in his eyes, he's below Usher. Okay. He knows he can't compete.
Okay. So it was fun to showcase her body to his peers.
You're right.
On Twitter, because he know Usher and them don't follow him. Mm-hmm. I ain't even think about it from that perspective.
It's a different realm. Now she's amongst men that, are successful.
Right. And this is the danger in this because many would say, well, she's in that realm. Usher's just a friend. It was friendly, I mean, at the end, you see they kind of hugged and went on their way. Give it up for Keke, y'all. It was lighthearted. So we're also in a culture that says men and women can be friends, and that's no big deal. Um, and I want to share a clip on that because the infamous Steve Harvey, for once, actually kept it real on this topic, and it kind of blew my mind. We posted this, and it was very controversial. Um, and I'm still to this day getting heavily attacked in the comment section for it.
No, you can't. No, you can. Who told you that? The only way you have a guy friend is you're saying we're only friends. They're hanging out with you in hopes of something else happening. They hang out with you and they circle like buzzards, waiting on a crack in the door, a chink in the armor. Guys are not made that way. Men, you don't hang out with fly chicks to be their friend. You hope you catch them hurting one day and you're there for them. And look at all the guys over there clapping. Look at all of them. Look at the cameraman, he never claps. The guys know I'm telling you the truth.
Oh yeah, I mean, you can have
Really?
guys.
So this is a topic we've talked about for years.
Yes.
Because it's no secret that ain't no guy friends in the Sanders family, under no circumstances. And for long, I've been called controlling and insecure and all the names in the book that eventually I just went ahead and owned it. And we did a whole I'm Controlling series,
Right.
to go ahead and combat that nonsense. So the women that are attacking this man, saying he's controlling and insecure, I guarantee are the women who would argue for the right to have guy friends.
Yeah.
What is your thoughts on what Steve Harvey had to say? Being a woman who our relationship boundary is clearly that you do not have guy friends.
He is speaking nothing but facts. Like, anytime there's ever been a situation where a man was able to get too close, there was always an issue. There was always a question. Like when I had to work and had managers that want to put their arm around you, men will always find a way to get close, to just get whatever they can out of a woman. And I just think as women, we need to protect ourselves, and you need to protect your husband's ego. You need to protect your marriage, and you should not even give in to the thought of, well, we've been friends since we were in diapers. You need to give that up. It doesn't matter how far back y'all go. It doesn't matter if you think he would never. At the end of the day, there's a possibility that he could have thoughts. There's a possibility that things could get to a place that is uncomfortable, that will be uncomfortable for your husband. Why even put your husband in that situation? Even if you trust this man, even though that's naive to, but even if you think there's no way in hell that this man wants me in that way, it's just out of order and dumb to even put yourself in that kind of situation.
Yeah. I think that's the thing when you ask why. I don't believe it's that they trust the man would never. I think it's that they trust that they don't want to. And that's why the friend zone exists. It's because they didn't want to sleep with the man. But I think most women, if they're honest with themselves, know. I've actually seen women ask that and say, of course, he's a man. They know, in all honesty, if they would have said, hey, come over, I'm horny, at any point in this relationship, those guy friends would have done it.
Right.
So that's not a friend. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. If that accessibility exists, that's not a friend. And I just don't believe for majority of the situations that accessibility doesn't exist, because what is there really for me to gain from being buddies with the woman? What are we going to have enough in common for us to be hanging out that I can't do with my wife?
Right. There's
no reason for it.
What they get from it is they get your nurturing that you should be giving to your husband. They get that. They get the things, even if it's not sexual, the things that you would give to your husband.
Yeah. But what does he get?
That's what I'm saying he gets.
Okay. I see.
Yeah.
And that's funny you go there because I have noticed that I've noticed that even where we kind of talked about that, where it would seem like certain men who maybe don't get that from their wives, from their significant others, or even beautiful women in general, you would feel that at times they're trying to garner that from you.
Yeah.
Through means of flattery, over complimenting, I love you, sis, just so they can get that level of nurturing and feeling of emotional importance
Right.
back from you.
Yes. They want to feel that, like you said, importance. They want to feel what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of it right now, but just that she thinks I'm a good man.
Exactly.
She is okay with me. So this is giving me
validation.
That's what it is. Validation. And I think women don't realize that we validate men when we bring them into our circle in that way. You know, there's nothing wrong with encouraging men and building the men in your community and around you. There's nothing wrong with that, but there are boundaries, and some men will leech off of another man's wife just to get that because he doesn't have that.
Bobby made a good point. He said friend zone men are emotional support and ego boosts or second option boyfriends. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And and a lot of times if they break up with their boyfriend, you the guy that could take them to do the things they would have did with their boyfriend while you just, don't get the intimacy that a boyfriend gets.
Yep.
And there's no reason for a man to invest his time in that unless he's hoping that one day it could become something.
Exactly.
And that's just the reality.
You remember on the post, the young lady made the comment about how I don't know if you read the comment, how she had an old friend. This is when she was just now getting engaged to her husband. They were moving forward in their relationship. Old friend randomly hits her up. Are you still with your boyfriend? Are you still with your fiance? She says yes. And he's like, oh, well, that's too bad. So it's like, and she was just dumbfounded. She had, or at least she claimed to have had no idea that he had those type of feelings for her. And then immediately they cut ties, and she's learned from that and understand that you can't be friends with men no matter how long you've known them.
Yes.
Because this whole time, because she said she had been dating her husband for 10 years.
Listen,
and he's waiting.
He waited in the dugout for 10 years.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's what I say. Like, because most of the time, if you're honest, they're only in the friend zone because they were interested and you weren't interested in them. It ain't this ain't a situation where you grew up together, were never attracted because she looks like your brother. Okay, that's different. But if it's an attractive woman and you met, a lot of times what women will call their friend is a guy that they met out at a bar and they started dating somebody else now. So now he's just my friend because I'm not available. That's not, come on.
Yeah, that's dumb. That's naive.
Yeah.
That's you playing yourself and your husband. And a lot of times these women, they like to have that attention. They like to have that backup. They like to know that if my man act up, I can call my friend and he can either, threaten my boyfriend or, be that man to console me.
Taylor said, does it matter if she's ugly? It could.
I think it matters, but at the end of the day, I think there's a level of respect a woman, no matter how good looking she is, should have for her husband.
Yeah. And this is definitely a marriage discussion, or even working towards marriage. But yeah, there's just no reason for it. I think biblically, even if we're in biblical marriage, if we follow those principles, then you have to also follow the reality that if the man is expected to leave his mother and father and cleave to his wife, what is the wife doing? Why is she still trying to hold on to her old life? Because that's what's happening now. They're saying, well, you don't give up your life for no man. You don't lose yourself, and you should still be who you are, and he just gets a part of you. That's a bad deal.
Yeah.
If I leave mother and father and I'm starting a new family, I'm cleaving to you, and my family now is what we produce, then I'm expecting the same from you.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that you holding on to another life and I'm only getting a part of you while my entire life now is devoted to giving my all to you.
Yeah.
That's just not how it's gonna go.
That's not fair. Yeah. That's not fair. And it's the new woke self-love thing to say, do not lose yourself in a marriage. And that
Listen.
and it is so dangerous for a wife to take on that ideology.
Stay there for a second, because I seen a video recently. Well, why is that dangerous?
It's dangerous because, one, that means she is now, her thoughts, her life is revolving around herself and what she wants, and holding on to her old self, which is her single self. When you become a wife and a mother, your life is no longer about you. It is about the unit. It is about your family. It's about your children. It's about being a wife. You are no longer Jasmine. You are now Sanders. You see what I'm saying? You are now one with your husband. And people try to fit, they try, we're one, but they don't really understand what being one means. Like, every step, every decision, every move you make should be considering your family, your husband. How does this affect my people in your home? But when you're about self-love and not losing yourself, you're not thinking like that. You're thinking about, how does this affect me? How does this make me happy? How and everybody else get left in the dust?
Yeah, that's a good point, because I remember posting a while ago that the whole self-love movement is demonic and people lost it. And I'm like, pretty much for the ways that you explained, but I got a video right here where we can let you see for yourself what that mess becomes. A shout out to Sir Hell for this clip.
What has your relationship been like?
No, sir. Ever since I was 5 years old, my mother looked me in my eyes and told me that she always loved herself more than she ever loved me. I would have rather her lock me in a closet.
That's pretty hard to believe.
I would have rather her...
Your Honor, I did say that to him. I actually told him that once.
Well, how old was he?
He was about 16, 17 years old. Tim, because in order for me to be a mother to him, I have to love myself first. And then I can love someone else. Then I can take care of someone else.
It has gotten so bad that not only are women having a difficult time hearing men in terms of their person and their humanity, love and femininity has gone so cold that women don't even love their kids like they used to.
What is your relationship?
God. Now that is extreme. I didn't know it was like that.
I mean, it is. You think about it though. Every woman that's out here hollering self-love, love yourself, are the same women that are anti-submission.
Yeah.
That are usually blaming men and unaccountable for their roles in relationship. And they're damn near narcissistic, and they make everything about their own happiness.
Yeah.
That's all the movement really means.
Yeah. Hashtag F them kids.
Yes. And it's demonic. It sounds good, just like Black Lives Matter sounds like the righteous good thing, until you find out what it really was about.
Or Planned
Parenthood. These are demonic agendas. The devil doesn't come as a roaring, two-horned creature like what we were sold. He comes as an angel of light. So it's a demonic agenda. This self-love stuff, first of all, biblically, love is not selfish.
No.
That's literally what it says in 1 Corinthians when they're describing love. Love is not self-seeking.
Yes.
So you can't have a self-love movement that's not an oxymoron.
Right. Wow. And it's, when you really get down to the basics, these women that do all this self-love, YOLO, let's live our lives, let's be so, they're the most miserable women that you could ever come across.
And that's why that attracts them. That's why the self-love stuff attracts them. Because they're miserable.
Okay. But and then they dive into this, and then they're even more unhappy.
Yeah, it becomes confirmation bias.
Right. And what I'm trying to get at is, when you're selfless, when you serve others, when you give, the saying, it's better to give than to receive. That is when you get the true happiness, the fulfillment, that contentment in life, where you're not always, I need to find another thing that's going to make me happy.
Exactly. And that's why it's important in this culture, in this generation, while we teach in biblical marriage, people really know what real love is.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's why they're seeking for it everywhere. And it's like, I can't find it. So now I'm going to give it to self. And that, the best way to really love yourself is to be loving to others.
Yes.
It's to give.
Yes.
Is to really understand and receive the love of Christ.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the sacrificial love that you give out of your overflow. And 1 Corinthians 13:4-5 says, love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, does not dishonor others, it's not self-seeking, it's not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. That sounds completely opposite of all of these women out here in the sisterhood that are talking about self-love.
Yeah. Yeah. I love myself. I ain't forgiving no man.
Yeah. Taylor says, self-love to me is seeing myself the way God sees me. Should I say I hate myself? I'm not entertaining the manipulation. If we didn't say you should say you hate yourself, we're not gonna argue points that we didn't say. We made clear what we were saying.
And read the definition of what love is.
If you really see yourself the way God sees you, then you will follow his description of love and not make your own based on worldly values. The bigger reality. Yep, the most miserable women. Facts, absolutely. Shane Nolan said Planned Parenthood, Family Limitation and Planning, original name. I didn't know that. I knew about the Negro Project.
Yeah.
But I didn't know Family Limitation and Planning. That's very interesting. Bobby Wright said worshiping themselves, basically. Absolutely. So yeah. Closing thoughts.
Back on, if we started this about Keke.
Yeah.
I just recently did a post talking about Black women and how Black women want so badly and complain so much about not being respected by men or other races, about not being protected, and all the things. While at the end of the day, we present ourselves like Keke Palmer. Granted, she wasn't shaking her ass, she wasn't twerking, but at the end of the day, this is how we present ourselves. We are twerking at Essence festivals. We are showing
on the stage, on the main stage,
demeaning ourselves, and wonder why we're at the bottom. Wonder why no man wants to marry us, when we wonder why we're not protected. Who wants to protect something that is for everybody?
That's good. And it's important to understand that this is not us on a high horse judging the culture from a lack of understanding. We come from the culture, and that's the only reason we care to be able to have this discussion, is because we changed our mindset. We were in the mix of all of this, doing all of the counterproductive things, and until God snatched us out of it and opened our eyes. And we can't have our eyes open and allow the rest of our brothers and sisters out here to stay blind. It's like, man, I forget the young lady's name. One of the daughters that played on the show Black Lightning. She got saved, and she has some amazing videos now. And she talked about it. She said, why is it that people ask her, why is it that you Christians always have to try to get everybody to see your points of view and your faith, Why can't you just be Christian privately? And the scenario, she said, what if you, my friend, we're hanging out together at your house, or you at my house? Either way, I go outside in the backyard to do something. China McLean, thank you, sir, to do something. And I see a big venomous viper in the backyard. And I'm like, oh, shoot. I run back in the house. 10 minutes later, you say, I'm about to go smoke. I'm just giving it in my words, because I don't remember how she worded it. And I know you about to step in that backyard. But I just say, Okay. And I let you go out there. You go out there, get bit, you about to die, and you like, what kind of friend is that? Why wouldn't you tell me you was just out there? That's the perspective. There's a responsibility when you know better to want to share that knowledge with your brethren if you see them going down a destructive path. Yeah. So it's not that we haven't been there. It's not that we aren't still there in a lot of ways. We're far from done. God's far from done with us. We don't got it all together, but as we learn it, we have to share the knowledge and the understanding because we want to see better for our community. So by no means do I want people to, continue to get offended like we think we're better than you. We got a lot of work to do on ourselves as well. But if everybody waits till they're perfect before they begin to speak out about the issues in society, then nobody's going to ever get better because we all falling short somewhere. That was DC's show, Black Lightning. Yes, sir. You're supposed to spread Christianity to be a good Christian for real. That's facts. So with that said, on the part on what you said about Keke, I agree. It's unfortunate that is our identity now. Our women find more pride in twerking than being wives and mothers now. We don't value marriage, and if we do take pride in being a mother, it's the pride that you can do it yourself without a man. Yeah. And that's why we put Marriage Monday together, because I don't think enough people see Black people who look like us, who come from where we come from, actually taking pride in the marriage from a traditional aspect anymore. No. It's all about trying to present a power couple image or a worldly image of us both living individual lives that come together to look good, but we're really not one.
Yeah. Equal.
And do those marriages last? Time will tell. Mm-hmm. But from what I see about the women who usually are coming on our pages arguing against our methods, time has already shown that it doesn't in their lives.
Yeah. Yeah. And if they are still married, or they're going to brag 15 years in, their husband is usually miserable. She's miserable and hates him. Or he's a son husband. She's taking care of him. He's just another kid.
Yeah. And that's a whole nother topic, because I don't believe that it's just hopeless for everybody. I don't believe that every time, we say a woman hits the wall, she's not going to get married. I think that there is hope if they change their mindset and they accept that they may not get what they're dreaming of. If you can shift your reality a little bit to understand that, mm-hmm. I see women out here past the wall that are still getting married. They just often, you got to date down. Yeah. You got to date down and accept that, hey, that's the trade-off you gave when you decided to spend your 20s chasing your professional life. Yeah. But is dating down worse than dying alone? That's for you to decide. Yeah. Appreciate you, Miss She Said. We love you and your husband as well. Appreciate the good work y'all putting in. Bobby said, Medium Man wants married couples to call in on his show. I think it's next week. Hit him up. I don't even know who that is, bro. I got to look him up because write that down. And I'm going to check into that. But for those who are just joining, make sure you catch us on the replay. We'll be back next Monday for another Marriage Monday. Let us know in the comments what topics you want to see us address. And we'll be back this Wednesday to talk some solutions. Mm-hmm. That's another broadcast we want to bring you weekly to stray a little bit away from just the marriage topic, but to still talk about some things in the community that we can afford to address to better ourselves in the long run. Yeah. All right. She said she just looked them up too. Yeah, get them. Hopefully we can call in the same day that y'all do.
Yeah.
Bigger reality. Appreciate you for coming through, dropping that wisdom, man. Facts got a date down. Some people don't want to face the reality. Absolutely. Ultimately, our goal, man, is just to see more in the community married. 26% marriage rate is absolutely unacceptable. And the fact that we're still out here acting like we don't need each other while our culture, our communities are decaying is absolutely wild to me. So let's figure out some solutions and how we can make marriage great again.
Yeah, let's do it for the children.
Absolutely. But with that said, man, God bless y'all. Hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. And until next time, catch you next week.
All right.
Said I spent my whole life running from everything running, always running, every day running. I'm always running, this ain't running, but I keep running back to you. Said I spent my whole life running from everything running, always running, every day running. I'm always running, I'm insane running, but I keep running back to you. Can't even believe I'm writing this song, your love has captured me. My lines ain't sink this deep since the girl that catfished me. I told you all my flaws and still you went to bat for me. Shorties tried me in these streets, you'd even scrap for me. But sink somewhere along the line, I swear our feelings have changed. Conversations getting slim, but we ain't chilling the same. Lord, ignite this passion till we can't remember our pain. Pray this match made in heaven will rekindle our flame. Said I spent my whole life running from everything running, always running, every day running. I'm always running, this ain't running, but I keep running back to you. Said I spent my whole life running from everything running, always running, every day running. I'm always running, I'm insane running, but I keep running back to you.